G'day guys, Tillis20 here and welcome back to Parkitect. Brand new series time. I am super excited to be showing you my brand new map and scenario that I am creating in this episode. And to be honest, I'm going to be doing the same thing in the next one as we get ready for the new series and start plopping down all the bare essentials. We have finished Dollarwood. That was my old map that I was working on. I actually finished that scenario pretty quickly. It took me about I don't know, 7 or so episodes, which was kind of accurate to what I expected it to take. I sort of expected it to take about that amount of time, and this time around I'm going to be working on a scenario that's going to be going a lot longer than that. I plan to work on this park for a fair decent amount of time. I can't be, I don't know, too specific about how long I reckon this will last for, but I have given myself a much larger map to work on, and I have also given myself quite a lot of challenges in terms of the types of theme park I want to be building and the scenario that well, the actual challenges that I need to achieve to get 100% in my scenario. So I'm going to be working at that, and I'll talk a bit more about that probably in the next episode, because I actually can't remember what goals I set for this scenario, to be honest. By the way, I'll be uploading this scenario to the workshop in a couple of weeks time. I'm currently overseas in China. Actually, I'm not right now, but if you're listening to this audio, I am in China right now, so I can't do that at the moment, but I will upload it as soon as I get home. I yeah, totally plan to do that. And basically, in this time lapse, I'm just going to be building the scenario and the bare bones of this park. And in the next episode, I'll be working on a little bit more sort of pre-park building stuff, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So yeah, there's a lot of preparation in terms of this park because it's a lot bigger and the theming is a lot different to my old one. So this theme park is going to be called $2 Studios. I'm sure that's probably a hint enough for people to start speculating the type of theme park I'm going to be building. This theme park is going to be based around movies and television, and I am aiming to incorporate a lot of like characters, like well-known characters, and theming that is generally seen at the more, I guess, corporate and high-end types of amusement parks. So I want you to think about like Disney World and Universal Studios and like a lot of the other theme parks that take on branding and incorporate television and movies and characters and basically all that sort of goodness, all the goodness that you expect from some really good amusement parks. So I am really going for a much more upscale and high-end type of amusement park experience, which means that I am going to be really trying to make this quite a big amusement park, quite a large scale. And I'm going to be honest, it took me a while to actually figure out exactly the scale of this game, and that's why in my last series in Dollarwood, I really struggled with trying to make buildings and roller coasters and rides all fit into like the Parkitect scale, because obviously this is quite cartoony. Everything isn't in scale. It's not completely accurate. So I have to sort of take that into account and, you know, try and figure out exactly how everything sort of operates and looks correct. And to be honest, a lot of what you see me doing right now, I end up changing or deleting. I actually built so much of this amusement park in an original map, and then realized that I actually created the map too small and ended up just copying everything as a blueprint and then just pasting it back down into a brand new map, which I'm not going to show you because it's just a real waste of time. In fact, I actually thought that this episode was going to, like, the build that I do in this was going to sprawl over like 3 episodes, but because I build and then delete and build and delete so much of my work, and I have to like redo quite a lot of what I do, I don't know, it just didn't really work out that way. So I ended up just condensing everything into just this one episode, and so it's probably going to have a bit of a feel of rushed because I go through quite a lot and I build heaps, which I'll show you. You'll be able to see a lot better in the time lapse at the very end. So sorry if this time-lapse isn't very interesting, it's purely time-lapse and I'm probably going to have to stop talking halfway through it because I'm going to run out of things to talk about. But generally, I just wanted to get the foundation of this series and this scenario done, and then we can start diving into some really interesting gameplay a little later on. So this car park ends up getting changed, and you probably saw me work on just very quickly a road, like a highway that I also built, which I end up deleting completely and just redoing a lot of the structure of this whole area. And the reason why I do that is because I there's just not much room or need for a highway like I built it, and I figured I'd rather just have more space to build the theme park than have, you know, room for all this, you know, infrastructure. And I end up deleting and redoing a lot of the car park. I end up making the car park for about 3 times the size it is right now. And all this work that you see me doing right now in terms of the entrance and you know, all the you know, the main part of the car park, I do keep all this. So all this is being kept. And if you can't tell, like if you're Australian and you've been to Movie World, that's where I'm taking a lot of my inspiration for this main entrance. I'm sure you can probably tell the references. The main gates I am taking the idea from. So this is where you actually pay to come into the theme park. Then you cross the river, and then once you get into, you know, past the river, then you actually cross the main entrance of the amusement park. And I wanted to take that into, you know, a bit of consideration and do something similar. So I really do want this amusement park, God. I do want this amusement park to look quite grand and quite epic in areas. I don't know where I could particularly say its location in the world is. I would like to say it's at an Australian amusement park, but Australia doesn't build amusement parks quite as epic as this. I know I'm taking ideas from Movie World, but I actually want to go a lot bigger than Movie World. I actually got crazy obsessed with looking at Universal Studios in Florida. That place is just now on my bucket list as of like 2 weeks ago. Just been flying over there so much, getting inspiration for this park. So I'm going to be taking so much inspiration and putting into this theme park. And also Disneyland too, like parts of that too, I'm going to be popping into this. Basically like all of them, like all the way around the world I've been checking out, but mostly the amusement parks around Florida. They're just so epic and so intense that I really wanted just to like get that level of theming into this amusement park, into $2 Studios. If you've been to those amusement parks, then please like hit me up in the description, in the comments below. Yeah, I'd love you to get in touch because I would love your advice, and you know, I'd love you to let me know about some things that I totally have to put in. And I'm completely jealous, to be honest. I really, really want to go there now, and that is like the first destination I'm going when I have kids, because I can probably actually justify an airfare and a ticket to actually go to Disneyland or so Disney World or Universal Studios. Yeah, I mean, these places look amazing, and Australia just can't compete with, you know, the quality of these sort of amusement parks. Although I think the one in Singapore looks pretty amazing. I would like to go to that one. That's a lot easier to get to, but I sort of feel like if you're going to go to one of them, you should probably go to the one in Florida. I actually have been to the Universal Studios in Hollywood, and that was pretty cool. But I think, yeah, the one in Florida really just looks quite epic. So I am taking quite a lot of ideas from that, though this entrance is a lot more low-key than that amusement parks, any of those sort of types of amusement parks. So I guess we are going for the type of theme park that is built on a pretty high-end budget. We have a bit of money to splash around. We have brand deals. We have movie characters and television characters, and you know, all sorts of really great theming elements that we can put into the amusement park. So I am going to be definitely trying to incorporate as much of that as possible, and trying to make this place look pretty epic. And if you haven't already picked up, I am using a whole bunch of mods this time around. I'm not using like crazy amounts, but I am definitely using probably about 20 or so mods that I think are totally essential to build something that is realistic. I didn't use mods for the last series that I created, and now that I am using them, I am obsessed. They are quite incredible, and the amount of realism you can create with the new mods and assets that are on the workshop are really quite incredible. Shy Guy has created a whole bunch that I am using. He's actually someone that I was a massive fan of when I was like 19. I was like traveling through South America. I had barely any cash. My computer at home was a piece of crap, and I just remember like every now and again going to an internet cafe, and that was basically my only source of internet. There wasn't any smartphones, or this is like 10 years ago, so traveling has changed quite a lot since then. And I just remember jumping on the computer and just checking out his community, because he used to have a community in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 and all those other like amusement park games. And I just binge like all the images that people were posting and like all the discussions, and just dream of like going home just playing some sort of Roller Coaster Tycoon game. And I think that was me getting back into gaming, was after that trip. That was like 6 months overseas. And yeah, so when I saw he was posting some mods on the workshop, I got really excited, because he's obviously someone who I really remember, and now I'm actually doing this as almost like a second job. So it's really cool to see him still around and still posting really great content, and still help me out and keep me inspired too, which is like super cool. It'd be super cool if he's watching this video too. Shout out to Shy Guy. I'm now starting to build on the inside of the amusement park. This is the cargo side of things. This is where the cargo comes in, and this is where all the main warehouses are going to sit. You actually also saw me build a warehouse that I deleted. I just wanted to build it and blueprint it, and then just like delete it and figure out where it went later on. Being so big, I wanted to make sure I could fit it in somewhere. And I also plopped down a couple of rides and buildings just to figure out the scale. Like I said before, I really want to keep to a decent scale and make sure everything fits in and looks correct compared to one another. So I'm making sure that I've plopped down a few roller coasters and rides, and there's trees and stuff to keep me in line with how things should look. And I'm basically just trying to create a much larger cargo bay than what Dollarwood had. So that was a much smaller place, and this one is enormous, and it sprawls almost around the entire map, around the surrounding edges of the amusement park, what's going to be there at least. And just this is ideas that I'm getting from mostly around Movie World in Australia, and I guess hidden from the public eye are all these roads that go all the way around the amusement park and connect up all the warehouses that supply the amusement park with all of its goods and supplies and maintenance stuff. So I wanted to put that in early so that we can then feel out the amusement park from there. So I tried to get as much done as possible without going too crazy and trying to think too far ahead, and then I'll end up adding in extra ones a little later on down the track. Like I said, this is going to be fairly big amusement park, and I want to make sure that all the right things are in place. And this isn't actually where the cargo comes in, but there will be chutes where cargo will be transported from other cargo hubs via the underground chutes that I forgot to plop down in the last series. So I've made sure I've definitely put that in so we can actually see that working its magic. I'm pretty excited to see that. I didn't expect that those underground chutes to be a real thing. Those underground tunnels are underground, but I didn't expect that to be a real thing. Somebody was telling me that apparently in quite a lot of theme parks, tunnels are quite common to get cargo from one end to the other. So I'm going to make sure I get that up there too. And you might have also noticed that all of this is still within the within the grounds of the amusement park. So I haven't actually put these on the outskirts, so I can actually still edit these and go through and make changes. I've done that on purpose because I do want to be able to do that, and I'm going to be extending quite a lot of these back lots throughout the amusement park, just hidden away from the public eye. And much like the Dollarwood series, I do also want to be able to make money. So we are going to be playing with money. I do want to make a profit and make sure that everything is working the way it should. And I actually think that's going to be really hard because I am trying to stick with theming, and I'm trying to make sure that everything is going to look a particular way. And I can't just be plopping down wild mouse rides and Ferris wheels just because I want to. Every ride in this theme park has to have a particular theme or purpose to it. It's, there's nothing just placed there for the, sake of it. We're not just building rides because we have money to build. Everything needs to flow and has some sort of real purpose to be placed down, if that makes sense. Basically, every ride is meant to be very unique, and it's not meant to look like any other ride anywhere in the world. So I have to try and make sure that I am sticking to that theme and sticking to that as much as I possibly can. That's gonna be really hard, and I'm sure I'm probably gonna have to place down a couple of rides every now and again just to make a bit of revenue or just to keep people happy, and then we'll just delete them as we progress and keep on expanding out the park. But guys, I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a really long time, and I'm going to finish the commentary there because I'm pretty much out of things to say. I am just plopping down more buildings and expanding out, but I really just wanted to show all this to you guys, but I don't really have much more to talk about. So I'm going to leave it there for me. The time lapse will go for another 5 or so minutes. I hope you enjoyed. There are cinematics at the end if you want to go and check out everything that I build. And if you haven't liked this video, then leaving some comments or feedback in the comment section, or just by voting up the video, really helps me out a bunch. So yeah, thanks for doing that. Next episode will be up next week, and I'll be working on a hotel that I'm going to be taking quite a lot of ideas from some of the hotels that sit around Universal Studios in Florida. Pretty keen to show you what that looks like because I'm really happy with how it turned out. Hope you enjoy the rest of the time lapse. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.